It is very hard to stay on budget when shopping at Lakeshore Learning. I went there today, and this is my haul from here. The one thing that's not in this picture, Timothy, I let the boys each pick something out, and Timothy got a little car about that big, a little pullback car, and he's playing with that right now, so it is not here. I actually came in under budget this time. I just really looked at everything and tried to figure out if we really needed it, if it was really in my budget, and if it was something that was really necessary, that would really add to the kids' education, not just be like super fun. Not that there's not a time and place for that. Timothy's birthday is coming up and I will be going back, but he was with me today, so this is what we got. Samuel picked out this dinosaur skeleton excavation kit. He has already started digging it and he's very sad because one of the pieces came apart, but we tried to explain to him that often dinosaurs are not found all in one piece and they have to put them together anyway, so it would just give us a more realistic experience. So we got that, and this Samuel loves to be read to, but he has this he has a hard time sitting still. Like, he wants to sit still, but usually what he does unfortunately is he picks at his lip. That's the way he kind of wiggles, and so if he has something in his hands he will do better. We tried Silly Putty, but it got all over the couch, made a big mess. So they had several little fidgets there, and I let him pick which one he wanted, and he wanted this one, and he's already used it to make all sorts of things, and I think it will just, he loves to be read to, so this will just keep his hands busy. He likes to sit and snuggle, he doesn't want to play, so this will help keep his hands busy so he's not picking at his lips. So we got that. And then just some ink. Ink is more expensive than I thought it would be. So we just got one black ink. Right now the boys don't really understand like keeping the colors separate, so until they're able to kind of do that a little bit better, I'm just going to stick with the black. I was going to get more, but with the price of it I thought that just made sense for now. And we got droppers. We use droppers all the time for science, but our old ones unfortunately got way too much baking soda caked into them, so we had to throw those away. So I needed to get some more. There's a few experiments we want to do, so now we can do those. And I got this set. It's a Play-Doh set with little tools. We have tools that came with the Play-Doh kit that we bought, but they're just, or that, I guess it came with the Play-Doh kit that one of the boys got for her birthday, but the tools just are so, they break so easily. They're very small. So these are more appropriate, but this I got on sale for $2.50. Apparently there's one piece in the set missing, but the boys will use this and love it, and it will be something we'll get a lot of use out of. And this is the other thing. I've really been wanting to get a globe for our homeschool. Samuel's very interested in where things are in geography. Globes are expensive though. We have an inflatable globe that we got for like $1.50, but it didn't last long for that to not really inflate much, and so it's very difficult with that one to really show much. So we have a map on the wall, and I actually got the small globe. I was debating between this one and a bigger globe. The bigger globe was $30 and this one was $13. And I thought for most of the time we're just showing how to get from place to place and where things are in relation. So for the closer up stuff I figured we could use the map. And if we get to a point where this globe is not enough and we are using another globe, like we really need another globe, then I'll think of investing in the $30 one, but I just had a hard time buying that one right now. And I also like that this one doesn't take up much space. And then the last thing I got was just this free bag. They let homeschoolers sign on under their teacher discount program, and when you sign on, you get a free bag. So that is what I got at Lakeshore Learning. Okay, so these just came in the mail. This is one of the things I actually went to Lakeshore Learning to get, but I wanted to look at the different levels of dictionaries to try and decide which one I should buy. I didn't want to just buy them from online. And I felt like the K2 dictionary, my oldest, well, both of my boys really have a very high vocabulary level, and I was just afraid that they would be asking for words that we couldn't find. And so I went ahead and went with this bigger one. And they didn't have the most updated version at Lakeshore Learning, and it was also cheaper through Amazon, so I just went ahead and got it that way. And I plan to do another video on this at some point. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why on earth do you have a print dictionary when you can just look things up on your phone and all of that kind of stuff? But I actually think it's really important for learning and development, and my son was so excited when we got this. He was actually just flipping through and asking us what things were, what they meant, what the words were, and I don't know, I'm super excited about this. And then I also got this was used, it's wildlife gardening, and we are going to be doing a unit on gardening because the boys want to do that, and Samuel really wants to do a unit on gardening, and Timothy really wants to learn about bugs while we're doing it, so this is a perfect way to kind of incorporate all of that. And I think I'm going to actually use this book as kind of my spine to help guide us along. It's got lots of practical activities and lots of ideas, and I am super excited about this. Okay, so this is my last batch of homeschool stuff from a while. All of this came from Rainbow Resource, but before I show you, I had mentioned that Samuel was upset because he tore a piece off of this, but it's actually supposed to, you find all the pieces separately and then clip them together. So he didn't break it, and he was very excited when he found that out. So I just wanted to mention that about this. But this all came from Rainbow Resource, and this is kind of going to round out everything that we need. I don't really pay any attention at all to the homeschooling year. We just kind of do things when we do them, and kind of do year-round kind of schooling. So anyway, these are the things that I picked up for us to get started with here soon. We're going to be studying about our family and family history and all that kind of stuff. And one thing that's important to me whenever we study America, I feel like one of the coolest things about America is that it's so diverse and we're people from everywhere. So this book is called A Nation of Immigrants, and it just talks about the fact that America was started by immigrants and all the different places that people came from and how they got here and kind of how all that worked. And I think that this is going to be really interesting as we study where our own family came from and maybe where other people we know came from. This is super exciting. This is called Science in the Beginning. It's a curriculum for younger kids, and it is based on the days of creation, and it is by Dr. Jay Wiley. He did the middle school books through Apologia as well. He wrote those. But we have been doing the samples online, and Samuel loves it. Every single lesson has a science activity that you do that kind of shares what it is that you're looking at, what it is that you're doing. And you can see here, let me see if I can find the table of contents. Should be here at the beginning. But everything is based on the days of creation. That's the whole premise of this first book. And then the subsequent books in this series go chronologically through the history of science. So you can see day one is the creation of light, so you learn about colors and the human eye and all of that. And then you have water and air for the day two that you're learning about. And day three is the water cycle and the rock cycle and land and plants. And day four is the sun and the solar system. And day six, you've got animal classification, osmosis, takeoff and thrust, waterproofing feathers, birds. And day six, you've got land animals and the five senses. And anyway, you just go through all the days of creation, and I can share with you guys more about this later, but super excited about this for our science. And Samuel can't wait to dig into the activities. He's already been loving them. And then for our history, this is what I'm using. Now, I am not going to be reading this book to the boys. It is a little bit dry, and there's a lot of stuff that they're just not quite there yet for. But I am using this as a teacher's guide for me to pull activities. So we plan to use the timeline, and we will also match this up with our science in the beginning once we get to the next level as well. But we're going to do the first part that matches this. But basically, I plan to use this as a guide for me with activity ideas, for me to read and kind of know what's going on. And then I'm going through and I'm making unit studies. So like we'll probably do a unit study on dinosaurs, on the Ice Age. We might do a unit study on Jubal and Tubal-Cain and talk about making music and making iron things. And so I'm using this very much as a teacher guide for me. I will not read them directly from here. We'll be using other books to kind of pair with it. But this I'm using as kind of a springboard for myself to make unit studies, and I'm excited. And to go with that, got the Historical Atlas of the World and the Student Bible Atlas. Samuel is very interested in maps and atlases and knowing what things look like, so I'm super excited. And that is my homeschool haul. I shouldn't be getting any new stuff for quite a while, but if you guys want to find out more about how I'm using any of the stuff you've seen in these last few hauls, or if you want a more in-depth look at any of the programs or how I plan to adapt them for more laid-back school for young kids, let me know. And I hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.